Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and we're here to do another top list of the year, which I'm always excited about. And today we're talking about a really hard list to make. I'll tell you guys that right now. This was an extremely hard list to make because we're talking about my favorite Oculus Quest 2 games, or Oculus Quest, or Meta, however you want to call it these days. The best games that have come out since it actually released all the way back 3 or 4 years ago. So I've already made a list for my favorite games in the Quest in 2022. That list was not as hard. But now we're going back 3 to 4 years and combining all the love that I've had for VR and kind of putting them into one list here. So I wanted to show you guys all my top favorite games that I've played, over the years on the Quest. So those of you guys who are getting new Quests for Christmas and stuff like that are not just looking at games that came out in 2022, even though I have a list for that, because there's a lot of good games that have come out over the years that are still viable today, that still have active multiplayer, gaming going on with social groups in there and all that kind of stuff. And there's still games that I play every day when I pick up my Quest 2 before I play anything else, because they're that much fun to play. So, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
The first one here coming in at number 20 is Dash World. So Dash World is for all my racing fans out there, especially people who love Mario Kart and stuff like that. This is exactly what that game is. I think this game is done super well by the devs. They supported it for a really long time. It's been out for a long time now. They have a good variety of tracks on here. They're all very different from each other. Some extreme tracks that even go upside down and stuff. They have a good variety of things to unlock with the skins for your arms, your cart, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of different comfort options as well. So you have not need to worry about all the comfort options that are in here. You should find something that suits you. And then, of course, you have all the weapons that you're throwing at each other. And I just think this is essentially Mario Kart in VR. And who doesn't want to do Mario Kart in VR? I mean, this game is outstanding for racing fans. It has something for everyone if you're into the kart racing genre. And it's one that I keep coming back to because there's no other racing games like it anywhere else. And they did such a good job with it. They did update it with a lot of free tracks. They have since stopped at this point. They haven't updated it in a while, but still has a multiplayer that you can still play with your friends. It even has a campaign mode. So there's no updates needed anymore. They have a lot of content in this game for the asking price, and I can't wait to see what these devs do next. So this one comes in Dash World at number 20. The next one on this list coming in at number 19 is Catan VR. And I am a huge board game fan. For those of you guys who don't watch this channel all the time, I have over 250 board games in my collection. I love board games, and they did this game really well in VR. This is exactly how I want other VR games to be made for board games. I'm surprised that we don't have more VR board games than what we have already, and I hope that we get more, because there's a lot of classics like Catan here that we can see in VR, and it gives you a great experience playing it. The only thing missing out of this is the expansions, but everything from the environment, the gameplay, having online, having AI, all of it is in here that you want in a board game done in VR. And I still play this one with friends, and we love playing it. Catan VR coming in at number 19. The next one on this list coming in at number 18 is Cookout, a Sandwich Tale. Now, this game is for all my people who love Overcooked. Overcooked in the 2D space is a really popular cooperative game where you get 4 of your friends together and try to make these meals for customers that come into your shop or into your restaurant, and you're trying to make their meals as fast as possible. And this is exactly that game in VR. And man, does this game work super well in VR. This is one of the games that actually got a lot of people into playing, and then they actually went immediately to go buy a VR headset because of this game, and because they love Overcooked so much, and they didn't realize how much fun it would be to play that game in VR even more. And this is great. I mean, it's exactly what you want. There's a ton of different levels that add different things as you keep progressing into the story. Has online multiplayer, of course, that you can play with friends, and it's fantastic. I actually hope that they make a sequel to this game one day or add DLC to it, because we all want more levels. Me and my friends who have played this game have beaten the whole entire game. And yeah, there's replayability because you can try and keep getting your high score, but I hope that they make something of a sequel or more DLC for this game, because it's a fantastic cooperative game in VR to play with your friends. Cookout, a Sandwich Tale, coming in at number 18. The next one here coming in at number 17 is PokerStars VR. So PokerStars VR is a game that's been around for a really long time, and it is basically obviously for poker fans, but it's a lot more than poker. It's developed into more of a casino, because now you can play slots, now you can play blackjack in the game, and all these different other games that are in here, roulette. that are not just poker, but just the poker experience itself, as you guys are looking at here, is fantastic to be able to play this game with a bunch of people around the table and play some poker. You have VR pictures that you can take with each other. You have all these different props that you can kind of get when you buy coins and stuff like that with the in-game currency to kind of, you know, add even more to the experience. And the environments that you're in are really awesome. I mean, this game is fantastic. There's always people to play because you could also play this game in 2D as well and with VR players, but this game is fantastic in VR for everybody who loves poker and casino games and roulettes and blackjack and all that kind of stuff. And I can't wait to see what they add to next in this game. Poker Stars VR coming in at number 17. The next one here coming in at number 16 is NFL Pro Era. So this is for all my football fans out there. And this game kind of came out of nowhere for me. I didn't even know that we had an official NFL licensed game coming out until it was very shortly announced. And they did super well on their first NFL game into VR. I mean, the players are actually all there represented that we all know from the real teams. The graphics are outstanding for a Quest 2 title, as you guys are looking at here. All the teams are all replicated, all the stadiums are all replicated, all that kind of stuff is all here. And you get to play an NFL quarterback from that team and kind of take them to the Super Bowl. It has campaign, it has mini games that you can play online with your friends, multiplayer by catching the ball and kind of stuff like that and throwing the ball with each other in the stadiums, which is really cool. It's just an awesome experience. And then you get into the locker room and you have all of the 32 teams kind of represented and all decorated with their different locker rooms and different franchise mode that you can kind of take them through. It's all really well done. I really hope that they make a sequel to this game and it's popular for them, because I'd love to see not only playing as a quarterback, which is what this game is like now, but also being able to play on the defensive side of the ball and maybe even play full online matches one day. But what is here for their first attempt is outstanding. There's a ton of fun to be had in this one. If you guys are fans of football and fans of the NFL, this is definitely not one to be missed. There's a ton of content here for you to be able to enjoy. So definitely check this one out, guys. NFL Pro Era coming in at number 16. The next one on this list coming in at number 15 is the Vader Immortals Star Wars series. I mean, this is what kind of all of us in VR want when it comes to a Star Wars experience. They did separate these into episodes that you can get for $9.99 each. And they also have another game that came out in the Star Wars franchise that you can easily replace in here as well if you've already played the Vader Immortal series, which is the Galaxy's Edge version, which is also fantastic. So either of these could be in the slot. But the first time you see Vader and he kind of comes in here, you see how tall he is in VR, and using a lightsaber and playing the dojo mode that's in here trying to get the highest score. I think this game was fantastic. And yes, it's on the short side for each episode, only being like an hour long, but it has that dojo mode that kind of extends that, where you're unlocking different lightsabers and stuff like that. I think it's well worth the asking price and well worth it for Star Wars fans in general. That there is a lot of content here, especially that Galaxy's Edge version as well, where it has hours worth of content in that game where you're kind of playing through. And I think the graphics are fantastic and outstanding. The story is interesting to play through, and I hope that they continue making more Star Wars experiences like this in VR and continue going forward with it. Fantastic stuff for Star Wars fans and story fans alike. Star Wars The Vader Immortal series, or Galaxy's Edge, coming in at number 15. The next one on this list coming in at number 14 is 4VR Bowl. This is from a studio that I really love all their games. They keep making games like this bowling game, but you can replace this with the cornhole game, with the darts game that they've made, with the new pool game that they just released. All of their games have been fantastic. They lean on the arcade style, and you can play bowling in all of these different cool environments like underwater, real bowling alleys, all of these different things. And the bowling is fantastic and fun in this one, just like all their other sports titles. 4VR Bowl coming in at number 14. The next one on this list coming in at number 13 is Resident Evil 4. Man, when this game came out, obviously back in the GameCube days that we all played it, we all loved it, but I did not know how much more I would love the game in VR. They literally recreated this game from the beginning for VR, and you could feel like it was made for VR nowadays. They did such a good job. It adds even more horror to the game because you're always being chased around. You don't know what's around the next corner and stuff. And this is definitely for all my horror fans and for all my Resident Evil fans. The game is super well done, and it's definitely one I recommend if you're into Resident Evil to see how well this game has got represented in VR. I mean, they did everything from the beginning to the end in this game, and it's such a great game to replay in this format, and I like it even better than playing it on the GameCube nowadays. So, Resident Evil 4 coming in at number 13. The next one here coming in at number 12 is After the Fall. After the Fall, in my opinion, is one of my favorite games in VR because it is basically Left 4 Dead in VR. For you guys who have not played Left 4 Dead, is basically you take 4 of your friends and you try to go through and run through all these missions trying to kill as many zombies and as many things as possible to try and collect this money and stuff like that, and then go buy better weapons to be able to do those levels at higher difficulty levels and take down the bosses. Fantastic amount of fun. They have a bunch of different levels now. They keep updating the game. They also have a horde mode that you can play in multiplayer, and on top of that, they even have a deathmatch mode where you can play against your friends and go against each other. There's a lot of content in this game, well worth the asking price in my opinion, and this is one that me and my friends are always playing and can't wait till the next level comes out. After the Fall, coming in at number 12. The next one here coming in at number 11 is Gym Class Basketball. Now, this game is just outstanding in multiplayer. This is basically playing full basketball 5-on-5 with friends and people from all over the world, and you get to do everything in basketball that you would imagine: dunking, layups, shooting, all that kind of stuff. 5v5 against people online, and the game is absolutely free, which is just crazy to be able to do that. And then they have other modes that you can play and pay for, like GM mode, where you can take your, do all these different court designs where you can make your own court to play in and invite friends to. There's a lot to love about this game. The social aspect is just amazing. The customizing your player is also really, really fun. Again, this is definitely one, if you're a basketball fan or a sports fan, you definitely need to check out. There's a ton of people playing this all the time, and everything is represented so well. I can't believe how well basketball can be played in VR, but here we are, and it's fantastic fun. So Gym Class Basketball coming in at number 11. The next one here coming in at number 10 is Marvel's Iron Man VR. Now, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I've always wanted to feel like I'm Iron Man. Who doesn't want to feel like they're Iron Man in a video game? And this game gives me exactly that. The way that they make you feel like Iron Man in this game is so good. The flying is fantastic. The combat is fun. The way that the suit kind of flies at you every time you start a mission, it makes you feel like you're Iron Man. Having, the characters all voiced in the game are fantastic and really makes you put yourself into that Marvel universe and stuff like that. And this is definitely one of my favorite Marvel games I've ever played. It's a really good story. It's a fun story to play through. About 6 to 8 hours worth of content here and a story to go through. It's really, really good. And I didn't think we would see this game from PSVR being transferred over to the Quest, but they did, and it's even better for it because now we don't have to worry about those weird controllers in the PSVR. Now we can play them with the wireless freedom of the Quest and be able to turn around, not have to worry about a camera watching us, and the game is just much better for it, and the graphics transferred over and are even better. It's a fantastic experience for Marvel fans, story fans, and Iron Man fans. Check this one out, guys. Marvel's Iron Man VR, coming in at number 10. The next one here coming in at number 9 is Pistol Whip. Now, Pistol Whip is for all my rhythm/shooting fans here. This game is so good. They've updated the crap out of this game also. Always adding new levels and the scenes that you're playing through. And the scenes that you're playing through in this game really make you feel like you're playing like a campaign. They have like a Western theme one and like a cyberpunk theme one that has like a little story that's being played through and that you're reading through. But the action and the rhythm is so much fun. Basically, you're going through these levels and obviously shooting the enemies as they come at you, but based on the rhythm of the music to get the higher points. But they have a bunch of different modifiers in this game to change up the gameplay, whether it's 1 pistol, 2 pistol, how fast things come at you if you're playing rhythm or if you're just shooting the enemies on screen, dipping and dodging out of the way. It is so much fun, very unique with the way that the scenes are created and stuff that really make you feel like you're playing a story. And the fact that they added all these different modifiers and more scenes and stuff like that kind of gives this game infinite replayability. Obviously, all local leaderboards and leaderboards online, so you can compare your scores against your friends. All that stuff is all here. They did a fantastic job with this game. Again, I can't wait to see what these devs do next. Pistol Whip, coming in at number 9. The next one here coming in at number 8 is Blast On. Blast On is such a good game, guys. It is basically a 1v1 dueler that you're basically shooting these different guns and weapons that you're unlocking as you progress. And think about a bullet hell shooter where you have all of these bullets coming at you, but you're doing it 1v1. You're shooting these bullets at each other, dipping and dodging out of the way and trying to be the last person standing. But it has all these game modes that you can play with as well. So you can have tournament mode where you have 8 players in a lobby, 1v1, and then obviously you take turns kind of going in there. You get to watch each other and, root each other on and then get in the ring and play the winner and stuff like that. They have a really cool lobby and social hub that you can play with, or multiple social hubs actually in the game. And they have an infinite amount of replayability with all the unlockables and stuff like that. And recently the game actually went free to play, so there's no excuse for people to not be playing this game now. It's one of my favorite games in VR. Really easy to play but hard to master, and always something going on. Really cool social hub to play with your friends and hang out in, and the action in itself and all the unlockables that you're playing are super fun. Guys, check this one out. Blast On, coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is Walkabout Mini Golf. Man, I cannot praise these devs enough about this mini golf game. Yes, it is just mini golf, but they keep updating this game with new courses, and each course is better than the last. And now they started to do courses that are actually based on real properties of like movies and stuff. Like we had the Labyrinth that they did recently, was just an outstanding course. Their courses are all so well designed. They're all unique. I really feel like I'm playing in a mini golf course. It's not just standard holes. They're just all super well designed. They keep making courses. I can't wait to see what new properties and who partners with them next to make the next DLC courses in 2023. They recently added 8-player multiplayer. They even added now a social hub when you enter the game that to mess around with, and it's just so good. These devs are on their top of their game when it comes to unique designs of all these courses, and it's one of my favorite games to play in VR with friends. Everybody loves mini golf, and this is definitely not one to be missed if you love mini golf. That is Walkabout Mini Golf, coming in at number 7. The next one here coming in at number 6 is Zenith The Last City. So for all my people who love open world RPGs like World of Warcraft and stuff, this is this game in VR, and they are doing a fantastic job. They keep updating this game with new classes to play as, new areas to explore, new raids to take a part of. Obviously, everybody here is a real person. There's so much to do, different missions, different raids to take a part of. You even have chess in the game now. You have cooking, all these different side activities. I can't wait to see what the future holds of this game as they keep expanding it and making into a fully realized open world RPG. But they're off to a fantastic start in this game, and I can't wait to see what they do next. So that is Zenith The Last City, coming in at number 6. The next one on this list coming in at number 5 is Population 1. I mean, Population 1 is a battle royale game, just like we all know and love from the 2D space like Fortnite and stuff like that, which is just awesome. And the fact that we have a game like this, and this is another one that keeps getting updated all the time with new seasons, new DLC and stuff like that, as you would expect. And they recently added a giant update where you can now create your own levels and create your own maps, create your own game modes, and now this world is just expanded to be able to play so many different things now. That is Population 1. If you guys are fans of battle royale, definitely check this one out, coming in at number 5. The next one on this list coming in at number 4 is Demeo. Demeo is for all my fans who love D&D type board games. This game is another one that's just fantastic by Resolution Games. They've showed up a lot on this list. And again, this is a D&D game where you basically have a campaign that you're going through with 4 of your other friends, and you're rolling dice. You're trying to grab and kill all the monsters on the board, going through and trying to survive to the very end. It's super fun. I love the game. And again, another fantastic social hub that they added to this game where you can even paint miniatures together, take pictures of each other, play an arcade game, all these different things in a social hub before you actually get into the meat of the game. And it's just fantastically well done. I've played this game multiple times with my friends going through the campaigns and stuff, and it's so good and so much fun and very unique. It's exactly what you would want a D&D experience to be like, and I can't wait to see what they do in 2023, because they have already announced in 2023 they're going to be adding a PvP type mode in this game, and I can't wait to see what that PvP mode looks like. And you can already play this game in 2D as well, so you can play in 2D or in VR, but in my opinion, VR is the way to play this game, and that is Demeo, coming in at number 4. The next one here coming in at number 3 is Contractors. Contractors is for all my shooting fans who love games and really fast-paced FPS games like Call of Duty and stuff like that. This is that game in VR, but it's so much more than that because of the recent updates that they've done with mod support. So the community is making actual real-life maps that you recognize from Call of Duty. They're even making skins for your weapons and maps for games like Halo and Battlefield and Titanfall. So this game is like a mishmash of all of these different games because of the modding community, and the game is even better now than it was before because of that. It's so much fun. The FPS gameplay is fantastic. It's my favorite FPS in VR. And if you guys are fans of Call of Duty and that fast-paced nature, this is definitely the game that you want to check out in VR, especially with the modding support behind it, with people making all maps and different skins and stuff like that, which makes the game basically never-ending. That is Contractors, coming in at number 3. And the next game coming in at number 2 is 11 Table Tennis. I love ping pong, and I think a lot of other people out there do too. And ping pong in VR is so good that I actually had a real life ping pong table and actually got rid of it when this game came out because I had the opportunity to play against people in real life all over the world at any time, and I had no reason to keep that gigantic table in my house. And I don't regret it till this day. This is the game that every time I turn my VR headset on, even if I'm going to go play something else, this is the game I always say, let me go play a couple matches real quick because it's that addicting. There's always people online to play against. The gameplay and the physics in the game are literally top notch. Can't ask for anything better. Everything feels like it's supposed to. When you miss, you're supposed to miss, and when you hit it, you're supposed to hit it. And the game is just fantastic. It's the most addicting game on the Quest, in my opinion, especially if you love ping pong like I do. And that is 11 table tennis coming in at number 2. And now we're going to do a couple honorable mentions before we get to my number 1. My honorable mention, the first one, is Golf Plus. Golf Plus, if you guys are fans of things like Top Golf in real life that you go to, this game kind of gives you that experience where you actually playing at Top Golf. You have 8 of your friends playing in multiplayer, and you can go ahead and do like the Top Golf experience where you're hitting the balls over the edge and trying to get the ball to land in certain areas to get the highest score. But it's so much more than that. The social hub that they have in here is also really fun, where you can play cornhole and different things with the ball that you're hitting back and forth. You have video screens all over the place where you can watch your own music videos from YouTube, which is awesome. And they have full-on mini golf experience on here, and they also have full-on golf experience where you actually take 18 holes and kind of do that experience. So they can basically have a little bit for everyone with the social and everything. It's just fantastic. This is still one that I go back to all the time. It just missed this list, which obviously is why it's an honorable mention. But it's a fantastic golf experience, and it's my favorite full-on golf experience in VR. That is Golf Plus as my first honorable mention. The next one we're going to be honoring as well is Among Us VR. This is the newest game that we're talking about here on this list, and they have done a really good job bringing the Among Us experience into VR. I actually think it's better than playing the 2D version in VR because of how the game takes a different turn. You feel like you're more on edge. You feel like you're more scared because you don't know when you turn your back. You can't see who's behind you. You don't know if someone's about to kill you, so you're always on edge. And the mini games that they did in VR are really, really well done. The only reason it hasn't made my list yet is because of the fact that I'd love to see them add more maps to this game, because obviously playing the same map over and over again is going to get tired. And the social is awesome in this game, but it's also its biggest downfall because there's so many kids in this game screaming and going crazy and cursing, as you would expect, just like they do in the 2D game. So that is another reason why it's held back a little bit, but I still have a ton of fun with this one. And I think if you're a fan of Among Us, then considering I think this is the best way to play it, and I'll never play the 2D version again unless if I'm just getting bored of this one map that they have in here, you should definitely give this game a shot if you're a fan of Among Us. So that is my other honorable mention. And guys, the number 1 game for the Oculus Quest 2 in my experience that has come out is definitely Beat Saber. I know probably a lot of you guys are like, I knew it was going to be number 1 because it hasn't shown up on this list yet. And I know some people are tired of this game showing up on all these lists and stuff, but that doesn't take away the fact that I still love Beat Saber after all of these years since it's coming out, because I'm a big music fan. And if you're a big music fan, this is going to be for you. You feel like a badass swinging these lightsabers around, beating to the beat of the music. They always have new courses coming, or new music packs coming out for the game as well. They have a good variety of the rock pack that just came out and stuff like that. And on top of it, you have the giant community if you want to go ahead and mod the game to have infinite amounts of songs. It is another one that I always keep coming back to every time I turn my headset on. I was like, hey, let me play a quick song, because it's just that addicting. And I think most people who get this game are going to love it. So it definitely comes in as my number 1, Beat Saber.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and we're here to do another top list of the year, which I'm always excited about. And today we're talking about a really hard list to make. I'll tell you guys that right now. This was an extremely hard list to make because we're talking about my favorite Oculus Quest 2 games, or Oculus Quest, or Meta, however you want to call it these days. The best games that have come out since it actually released all the way back 3 or 4 years ago. So I've already made a list for my favorite games on the Quest in 2022. That list was not as hard. But now we're going back 3 to 4 years and combining all the love that I've had for VR and kind of putting them into one list here. So I wanted to show you guys all my top favorite games that I've played, over the years on the Quest. So those of you guys who are getting new Quests for Christmas and stuff like that are not just looking at games that came out in 2022, even though I have a list for that, because there's a lot of good games that have come out over the years that are still viable today, that still have active multiplayer, gaming going on with social groups in there and all that kind of stuff. And there's still games that I play every day when I pick up my Quest 2 before I play anything else, because they're that much fun to play. So, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video of my favorite Oculus Quest games that have released ever since the product came out over the last 3 to 4 years. I hope that gave you guys who are just getting Quest for Christmas and stuff like that something to look forward to, something to play that maybe didn't come out this year, but maybe you can pick up some older titles on sale and stuff like that, because there's still a lot of good games that have come out across the board that deserve some recognition from you guys who are getting new Quests, because not only are not just the new games are worth playing. There's a lot of good games that came out back in the day, and I wanted to showcase that here in this video. So, guys, if you guys have any questions, as always, leave it down below. And if not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.